Namaste and welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga with some gentle movement and ending in 5 minutes sitting in meditation. My name is Michelle Chua, and for this practice you'll want to bring in whatever props you have at home, such as 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. The more props, the more options you have. So find something to sit on and choose any comfortable seat that allows you to sit tall and relaxed. We've been, in the past several weeks, reviewing the various practices of yoga as written in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, called the 8 limbs of yoga. And this week we're highlighting the 4th limb. Does anybody remember what the 4th limb is? The 3rd limb last week was asana, which is the physical poses. And you might see the pattern of how the 1st limb is much about how we're relating to the outside world, and the 2nd limb is how we're relating to ourselves, and then it goes to our physical body. And this week, the 4th limb is about pranayama. So it takes us deeper and deeper into ourselves. And pranayama is often defined as breathing techniques used to regulate your energy in different ways. So there are many breathing techniques in yoga. Here is a translation by Michelle Chua in her book, The Secret Power of Yoga, on 2 of the Yoga Sutras that talk about pranayama. And one is Sutra 2.49. The universal life force, or prana, is enhanced and guided through the harmonious rhythm of the breath, pranayama. And Sutra 2.50, the movement of the life force is influenced by inhalation, exhalation, and sustained breath. And then I want to read this page elaborating. Inhabiting and surrounding each cell of our physical body is the universal energy called prana. This energy is named ki in Japan and chi in China. Everything in the natural world has a field of energy surrounding and circulating through it. At different times, the quality and quantity of prana may vary. For example, a tree in winter would have less circulating prana than a tree in springtime. There is more energy needed for a tree to flower than to exist in the dormant stage. Prana is the intelligence that responds to the varying needs. Prana is similar to electricity in that it supplies an invisible current to keep life flowing and functioning. At birth, we are allotted a quantity of this precious vital energy that continuously circulates, maintaining our function in daily life. Our first life-affirming action on this planet is to inhale, taking in the precious atmosphere of the earth, as well as a dose of prana. This action enlivens our bodies, making them suitable to sustain life in our new world. We then continue to breathe about 16 times a minute, hopefully for many years to come. At a certain time, very near the last beat of our hearts, we return the borrowed air we took in at the beginning with an exhalation and go on our way, out of our body and to our next destination. In this way, a breathing body is considered to be alive, and a breathless body is considered to be dead. What is often overlooked is that we are the indweller of the body, not the body itself. While a substantial portion of prana is allotted for daily use, a greater amount is put, quote unquote, in trust until the time comes to further our quest to know the divine self. A vast capacity of prana is needed to raise the energy from the physical to the spiritual realms. This trust fund is safely stored at the base of the spine, most often known as the Kundalini, coiled snake. Through the wide range of yogic practices, we slowly access this energy as it guides us to deeper levels of consciousness. Our senses augment the already circulating prana. Through the beauty we see, the sounds we hear, the touch we receive, the fragrance we smell, the food we eat. The sun, moon, stars, thoughts, emotions, actions, and words all have the capacity to enhance or diminish our prana. It's very interesting. Something that we might overlook because it happens naturally. How many times a day? I don't know. the breath, yet how vital it is and how empowering it is to learn how to regulate our breaths, especially in moments of stress. Let's take a moment to check in. You might close the eyes as you begin to mentally scan your physical body. Simply observing, not judging, positive or negative, any sensations you're experiencing. Gathering your physical state as you begin this asana yoga. Sense the way the breath is moving in and out without changing how you're breathing. And the way your breath is flowing, what is your energy feeling like? And bring your awareness to how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. Notice what's present in that layer. As you press into the seat beneath you, let the breath in through the nose a little deeper. And then through the mouth, empty it slowly. Again, breathing in through the nose a little bit deeper. And out through the mouth a little slower. Allowing a few more breaths to play with, stretching towards the top of the inhale and the very bottom of the exhale. And notice how it feels to do this, to regulate this breath, your breath in this way. If you've come from busy activity, you might already start to feel a shift in your energy by slowing down the breath. I invite you to continue to breathe consciously, deeply. And as we open our practice, let's take a moment of gratitude, acknowledging anything that you appreciate. Letting gratitude open our heart minds. Clarify to yourself an intention you may have for this practice, of what you're allowing in, opening yourself up to experience. And remembering that our practice is not only to serve us, but the well-being of life around us as well. With that, I invite you to choose someone you'd like to dedicate your practice to today. And together, let's create resonance as we share our practice by chanting the sound of interconnection, Om, 3 times. So let in a deep breath. Let's prepare to start our physical movements by establishing an even inhale, exhale, and slow mindful breath pace. And this practice is called Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing. You close the lips and breathe just through the nose and create a very gentle, smooth whispering sound that you can listen to in your breathing. And it's a very subtle sound that requires you to really pay attention. And it helps to bring the mind to the present moment repeatedly as we're practicing the postures. So the sound is created by gently constricting the back of the throat. Let's try a few cycles together. We'll count from 5 breathing in and from 5 breathing out without holding the breath in or out. Try to focus on slowly lengthening the breath in both directions and smoothing the transitions between the breaths. So try to listen to your breathing. Empty this one to prepare. Then inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, exhale 5. Count a few more cycles in your mind, adjusting it to your capacity. Maybe you breathe a little slower, making sure that the breath is not strenuous, it's smooth, calm, steady, and balanced. And in this way, we're inviting our energy and our physical movements and our mind to follow those qualities, to adopt those qualities. So continue to breathe in this way as much as you can remember. If the mind wanders off, as it naturally does throughout the physical practice, as soon as you remember, there's your moment to come back to slowing down and rebalancing a gently audible breath. So let's make our way onto our hands and knees, and we'll start with cat-cow pose, moving to this breath pace. So spreading your fingers flat on the ground, shoulders over wrists, knees a couple inches behind the hips. When you're ready, as you breathe in, glide your torso forward, roll your shoulders back and down, lifting the chest, cow pose. As you breathe out, lift the belly in, dropping the head to round the back, cat pose. Again, inhale, blossom the chest forward, rotate the shoulders back. Exhale, engage the abdomen, slowly dropping the head to dome the back. Keep going, maybe another 4 or 5 cycles of breath. Take your time. So as we link movement to breath, see if you can allow the beginning of the inhale to initiate one movement. And at the end of the inhale, you find the peak of that movement. And then the beginning of the exhale initiates the other movement. And at the bottom of the exhale completes that same movement. So trying to let the body follow the breath, which you're regulating. Let's continue warming up, especially the shoulders, which we're going to focus on bringing into extension here. So at the end of your next exhalation, tuck your toes and lift your hips high, press your sitting bones back, entering downward facing dog. Keep the same breath pace, and I invite you to just follow however your body needs to move and loosen up here. Like to the pace of your breath, you might pedal your feet in place. You might add to that swiveling your hips side to side. You might also gently shake and nod your head several times to loosen your neck. And last week we spent quite a bit of classes focusing on bringing the shoulders into flexion. See if you can incorporate that in your downward dog, where you rotate your outer upper arms towards the ground and plug the shoulders into their sockets, releasing more space in your neck as you drop the head. Let's continue warming up the shoulders from downward facing dog. Activate the belly and inhale, glide forward into the top of a push-up plank pose. Stacking the shoulders right on top of the wrists, knees on the ground or legs straight, lengthen the neck. As you exhale, lift your pelvis, press your thighs back to downward dog. Let's try that another 4 cycles of breath. Inhale, come forward, plank pose, your version of it. Think of a plank of wood, long line through the midline of your body. Exhale, lift the hips, press the thighs back. Once again, see if you can let the body follow the in-breath, gliding forward, top of a push-up. Let the body follow the out-breath, lifting the hips, drawing the thighs back. Last one, inhale forward, plank pose. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Let's walk the feet to the top of your mat, arriving in a standing forward fold. Separate your feet at least hips distance. Bend the knees as much as you need so that your spine can relax and unwind. Make sure that your feet are parallel to each other. Pressing your hands either on your shins or the blocks in front of your feet or the floor. Inhale, extend your chest through your upper arms, sliding the shoulders back, but leaning your weight forward, half forward fold. Exhale, keep leaning forward and bow from the hips, maybe even deeper. Let's try twice more. Press with your hands. Inhale, stretch the sides of your torso as you lengthen the crown of your head forward. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. One more time. Press with your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. This time, press down through the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, rise all the way up to the in-breath, rolling the shoulders behind you and down. Exhale, trace your palms in prayer from your crown to your heart center. Half sun salutations, Ardha Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead, rolling the shoulders back. Feel free to bend the knees. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Press your hands on your shins, blocks of the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, glide the shoulders back. Exhale, fold in. Press to the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Find a gentle back bend, peeling the shoulders behind the ears and melting them down. Exhale, trace the palms at the heart center. Twice more. Inhale, arms forward, shoulders roll back. Exhale, bow forward. Press with your hands. Inhale, lengthen, chest forward. Exhale, fold. Press with the feet. Inhale, sweep your arms, rising up. Exhale, marry your palms at your heart center. Again, inhale. Let the movement last. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Root to rise. Inhale. And exhale. From here, let's step the feet even wider apart. You can either use the mat width or go even wider if you prefer, facing the wide width of the mat. Make sure your feet are still parallel to each other. Let's bring both shoulders into extension, which is one of our main focuses this week. So bring the hands behind you and either interlace your fingers. If you can, hug the heels of your palms together. Or if you try to lift the hands away from your lower back and it doesn't go very far, to get more range of motion in the shoulder stretch, you can hold a strap between your hands so you can space the hands as wide apart as you need to be able to get more range of motion. Having the thumbs point away from the midline of your body. So decide what's more appropriate for you to really benefit from this posture we're going to open the shoulders with. So breathe in, roll the shoulders behind you and down, lift the chest. Breathing out, begin to hinge forward from the hips. Maybe this takes several breaths. As you tilt your weight forward, try to see that your pelvis is not behind the ankles, but rather your pelvis is in line with the ankles, so as not to stress out the hamstrings. And if your back is wanting to round, prevent it from rounding by bending your knees as deeply as needed to elongate the spine. And now, several breaths here in wide-legged forward fold. As you stretch the arms away from your lower back. Bend your elbows slightly and float your shoulders up away from your neck. And then drop the head as loosely as you can. This might mean shaking it out a bit. This might mean relaxing the jaw by fluttering the lips a few times, or a lion's breath through the mouth. Few more deep breaths here. We also had a request from our live community to add in some spinal twists. So let's plant one here now. Lower your fingertips onto the floor or onto 2 blocks and stretch your spine about parallel to the ground, firming in the belly, glide the shoulders back. Now plant one hand just front and center on the floor or on a block. Keep your 2 hips level so the pelvis doesn't twist. Raise the opposite arm towards the sky and begin to rotate your chest in that direction, breath by breath. Slide both of your shoulder blades down your back ribs and breathing in, firm down through the feet and stretch the top of your head further forward. Breathing out, firm your outer glutes, your outer hips, keep the pelvis still, and continue rotating your rib cage. Feel the fingertips of the hand that's reaching up towards the sky. Use that to help broaden the collarbone of that arm away from the sternum. Couple more deep breaths here. And when I say use that hand, I just mean let the reach feel extended up towards the sky to encourage that broadening of the collarbone. On your next exhale, replace the hand on the floor and switch sides. Keep the pelvis still. Inhale, lengthen the top of your head forward, but slide the shoulder heads back. Keep the pelvis still and exhale, rotate your ribcage in the opposite direction towards the lifted hand. Feel the reach up through the fingertips, encouraging the collarbone of that arm to splay away from the sternum. But be mindful of the other shoulder. Sometimes that shoulder will want to tense up because of this. Slide the bottom shoulder down the back. 2 more breaths. And release, both hands down. Let's bend the knees, bring the hands to your hips, pointing the elbows towards the sky. On a slow inhalation, lead with your chest and slowly rise. All right, let's do one more movement to warm us up for the twist as well. So step the feet apart a little wider than hips distance, bend the knees loosely. This is actually a Qigong movement for helping to massage the area of the kidneys, promoting cleanse and detoxification. So let your torso twist without letting the legs twist so much. So as you bend the knees, let the legs be a grounding stillness. And then you're turning the rib cage, letting the arms just swing freely so that as you're twisting, you're tapping with your arms the area of the kidneys, which is at your lowest back ribs. Tune in to your breathing as you do this. Last 10 seconds. Shimmy out the shoulders, shake out the arms, anything that needs to shake to just increase prana flow, circulation. All right, come on down. Let's actually lower down onto our stomachs, all the way down to the floor. Getting into a yin posture for bringing the shoulders into extension. So grab a pillow or a block, anything you could use as a pillow, and place that on the right side of your skull on the floor. Slide your right arm out to the right, palm face down on the ground, in line with the right shoulder. And with the left hand on the floor beside your left shoulder, press the ground away and slowly begin to roll over onto your right side or towards it, resting the right side of your head on your prop. Pause for a moment and scoot your right shoulder away from the neck, so down the back. And then notice the sensations, especially along the front of your right shoulder. Find the depth that you need to be at in this pose for about 2 minutes. Going deeper might look like stepping the left foot behind you, wrapping the left arm behind you, or also stepping the right foot on the ground so both knees are bending towards the ceiling. And just finding what's appropriate, not too much. And then let the breath enter any areas that might feel stagnant by visualizing that you're directing the breath there. Promoting balanced flow of energy. Feel the areas of your body near your shoulder, like your jaw, the muscles on your face. As you relax any tension held in those areas, let that also promote balanced energy flow. One more long breath here. And when you're ready, take your time rolling onto your belly. Sensing how your right shoulder feels as you begin to transition to your second side. Maybe moving the prop over to the left side of your skull. Slide the left arm out to the left, palm face down on the ground, in line with the left shoulder. Press the floor away with the right hand beside the right shoulder and start to roll towards your left side. Now, taking your time to really observe how is this side of your shoulders speaking to you and letting you know how much you need to go in this pose might be different from the first side. Whether or not you'll step the right foot on the ground behind you, or wrap the right arm behind you, or also bend the left knee and step the foot on the floor. And sense the pace and depth of your breathing right now. And let out one more deep breath. Taking your time to eventually turn over onto the belly again. Observe the left shoulder as you're doing that. Take your time lifting your chest and arriving in Sphinx pose, where you slide the forearms in front of you to land the elbows right beneath the shoulders. And with your legs straight behind you, bring the knees as close together as you comfortably can, pointing the toes back, pressing the tops of the feet on the ground. Spend a few breaths in Sphinx. If you need to move the head around to help loosen the neck, feel free to explore rotating the head gently or moving it in any direction. As you continue deep breathing here, let the inhalations invite your collarbones both to expand from the sternum to the shoulder heads, like a wide smile. Note if you feel any tense areas as you're holding this posture, whether in the shoulders or elsewhere. Can you allow your shoulder bones to soften behind the ears as you release the shoulder blades further and further down your back ribs, while you actively stretch the legs long behind you as if the heels were reaching to press the back wall? Can you invite your tailbone to lengthen towards the space between your knees, creating space in the lower spine? We're here for a few more deep breaths. Can you visualize the area that's just beneath your shoulder blades, like right underneath? Can you invite a lift of your sternum from that area, whether or not that lift is visible externally? You can feel the energy of the intention as you visualize. Continuing to breathe in and widen the collarbones. Continuing to breathe out and melt the shoulders back and down. As you might start to gaze further forward or upwards, remember to lengthen the back of your neck so we're not straining the neck to do that. Let the lift originate from the tilt of the sternum, or that bend from right under the shoulder blades. A few more deep breaths. Soften the tongue, soften the eyes. Much of the work here is happening internally. So observe one more deep breath. Let's place the hands beside your floating ribs and press up to all fours, hands and knees. So let's counterbalance this with a twist as we open up the upper back. You may want to have a block with an arm's reach, coming down to all fours again, where the knees are a couple inches behind the hips, while stacking the shoulders above the wrists. So press into the ground with the left hand and inhale, sweep your right arm up towards the sky. As you breathe out, slide the right arm underneath your left bent elbow with the right palm face up and lower the right side of your head all the way down. Now, if your head is not comfortably resting on the ground, grab your prop and use it as a pillow. Use as many props as you need so that you can be comfortably relaxed here, as much as you can. And then slide your shoulders away from the neck. Feel that your left and right hips are equal in height. You're not turning the pelvis, you're turning the rib cage gently. And imagine the area between your shoulder blades. Visualize breathing into that area where you can feel the backs of your lungs gently stretch the back wall of your rib cage. And then relax that area as you're breathing out. Soften, melt. You might try that a few more times here as we stay for 2 minutes on this side of the posture. Listening to that very subtle whisper in your breathing. One more long exhalation. Take your time coming back to your hands and knees, all fours. Before we go to the second side of this twist, I'm going to invite you into half downward dog. Keeping your hips stacked right above your knees, the shins are apart, hips distance. With the arms straight, whether hands on the ground or if you prefer, hands on the platforms of blocks. Walk your hands forward as far as you can. Draw your shoulders back, keep the hips right above the knees, and pull in the belly slightly. So we're not dumping in the lower back. Lengthen the top of your head forward, so the head is not just dropping here. And rotate your outer upper arms towards the ground, spreading the shoulder blades apart. Lengthen the neck. Here for just about 5 breaths before we switch sides in the twist. Then come back to hands and knees, wrists under shoulders. Press down with your right hand. Inhale, raise your left arm towards the sky. Exhale, thread that arm under your right bent elbow and lower the left side of your head all the way down. Use any configuration of props that you might need as a pillow. slide the shoulders down the back. Level the height of your left and right hips. Keeping the pelvis still, allow your rib cage to gently rotate. You might imagine the space between your scapula. Breathe into that space in your upper back. And relaxing the area there as you breathe out. Feeling your back ribs expand as you breathe in. Letting the muscles between them soften as you breathe out. After this next exhalation, come back to your hands and knees. And this time I'm going to invite you to something we practiced last week, just to balance out the shoulders, bringing them into flexion. So place your two blocks on their medium height across the front of your mat, touching each other. And with your knees about a foot or so behind the blocks, stretch the arms forward, rotate the triceps downward. Bend the elbows and place them your shoulders distance apart onto the blocks. Press your fingertips into each other. Step your knees back so they're a couple of inches behind your hips. And then trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, back of your neck, as far back as you can trace the thumbs. Just letting the head fall to your degree. Letting the chest sink and broaden while you send the shoulders back. Firming in the belly slightly here. Support your lower back. Only here for about 5 deep breaths. Make sure the elbows don't start to slide wider apart than your shoulders distance. Notice if there's an effect on your capacity for breath when you've spent some time like we have opening up the shoulders and the part of the spine closest to the lungs. Then when you're ready, gently lift up and off the block, slide the legs in front of you, come to sit. And let's enter another spinal twist, sitting down. So stepping your right foot on the ground in front of your right hip, straighten the left leg forward and flex that foot. Backstroke your right arm, so feel the extension of the shoulder as you do that. Plant the fingertips behind the pelvis. And then breathe and press the pelvis down and lengthen up from the bottom of the spine, through the back of the skull, through the chest, crown of the head. Relax the shoulders. And as you're breathing out, gently turn the rib cage little by little to the right. Breathing in, press down. with your body, lift up to the crown. Breathing out, allow the twist, maybe to deepen. Now, if you can keep the shoulders relaxing down and hook the left elbow outside the right thigh, you could add that. Not here for very long, just about 5 breaths in this direction. As you're breathing out, unwind the spine. Slide the right leg forward and let's switch sides. Step the left foot on the floor just in front of the hip. Flex the right foot. Press down the sitting bones and backstroke your left arm. Raise the right arm, breathe in, lengthen from the base of the spine through the back of the skull. Relax the shoulders down and breathing out, rotate your chest to the left little by little. Letting the right hand hold your left leg, or maybe eventually hook the elbow outside the thigh. And then unwind and straighten both legs. Let's bend the knees apart for a few breaths in Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together, slide the heels close to your groins, and take hold of your outer feet either with your hands or use a strap around the feet as an extension of your arms. As you press your 2 sitting bones down, lengthen up through the back of your skull and your chest. Keep the shoulders relaxed, back and down, throat open, and then as you breathe out, hinge just a little bit at a time from the hips. Imagine there's a string pulling your sternum past the front edge of your mat. So keeping a little lift in the chest, shoulders relaxed, find your range of motion where you could do that, rooting down to the pelvis. On your next inhale, pressing the pelvis down, lead with your sternum and slowly rise. Okay, before we come into Shavasana, which might be a restorative fish pose, I'm going to invite you to one more pranayama. So please find a comfortable way to sit where you can really feel the breath easily flow. Body's relaxed, spine is upright. Do you notice a difference in your breathing right now? After all that focus in this area, and remember, if you think about the chakras, what chakra is right in the middle there? The heart, Anahata chakra. And it's very much connected to the breath, the lungs as well. So pranayama, different forms of pranayama help to activate or balance energy in the heart chakra. All right, the breathing technique I'll invite you into is Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing, which promotes energy balance as well, and balance of the lunar and solar, the yin and yang aspects of energy that are both flowing through us. So to practice closing the lips, continue with soft, sustained breaths, not trying to create a whispering sound anymore. Rest your left hand on your lap, maybe place it in Gyan Mudra to help concentrate inward, where the palm is face up and the thumb and index fingers touch. With the right hand placed in Vishnu Mudra, stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. We'll use the thumb to close the right nostril like this. We'll use the ring and pinky fingers to close the left nostril like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles of it together and then 3 cycles of it on your own before we let go of controlling the breath. So as you might close the eyes, you could choose to steady your inner gaze towards the region of your heart chakra, imagining the color green to help focus on the energy there of the breath moving, or towards your third eye center, because this breathing technique also helps to stimulate Ajna chakra, your intuitive energy center. Before we begin, let in a deep breath through the nose. Clear it out through the mouth. Then close the lips. Right thumb close right nostril. Inhale through left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in for 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out for 2, 1. Stay here. Inhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Second cycle. Inhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold 2. Close left. Exhale right. 6. Hold 2. Inhale right. 6. Hold 2. Close right. Exhale left. 6. Hold 2. On your own, try 3 more cycles. And when you finish, release control of the breath. Observe how you feel. Still observing your breathing, yet not controlling it. I invite you to find a comfortable position for a few minutes of Shavasana. One suggestion, if you'd like to continue with our theme of bringing the shoulders into extension, is to place the tallest block at the rear of the mat and a medium block either wide across the width of the mat or tracing the long midline of the mat. Pelvis on the floor. You can stretch the legs out. You can put a pillow under the backs of the knees. Maybe a blanket over the pelvis for grounding. Lie back so that the area just beneath the bottom tips of your shoulder blades rests on the closest edge of the closest block. promoting a lift in the chest while the shoulders drop past the block. And the back of the head is on the furthest block. You can also adjust the block that's behind the head to a lower height if you'd like to feel more lift in the chest. Then you might turn the palms to face up, out to the sides, or down by your thighs, letting your shoulders roll back and soften down the back. Make any adjustments so that your whole body can relax in stillness. And again, your mind, your attention can follow suit. Close the eyes and feel the breath naturally flow. Shavasana. Resting here with the eyes closed. Observe how your body feels now. And sense the effects of your practice so far. Be gentle, listen to how your body wants to begin moving as you slowly start to wake it up. Simple stretches, eventually turning over onto your right side and resting your head. Sensing your breathing in its natural flow right now. What is it saying about your energy? Has your energy shifted in any way since the beginning of this practice? When you're ready, take your time lifting your body up, finding a comfortable position to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. With our continued focus on the breath and pranayama, I'll invite you to let the breath be an anchor for your mind. So as you're sitting tall and relaxed, maybe placing the hands in Gyan Mudra or stacking right palm face up over left palm face up on the middle of your lap, letting the thumbs gently touch. As your body continues to breathe naturally, letting the breath be the anchor, observe where in your body you can most easily observe the breath, where you can feel it coming and going. It might be at your lower belly or your chest, your throat, or the tip of your nose. Wherever you can feel the sensations of the breath the easiest, I invite you to gently land your inner gaze there. Resting your awareness on the inflow and outflow of each breath. And like we do in physical yoga, the asana, can you allow your attention to the breath, your focus, to be both steady and relaxed? One way is to see it in that you are not trying to keep your attention on the breath, but rather you're giving your mind a rest by relaxing it on the breath. So if the mind starts to do things, follow thoughts or whatever it is, you can let go of the doing and come back into resting on the breath. Notice how your mind and heart feel now. You might touch a hand to your heart center or join the palms in prayer as you acknowledge someone or something that is supporting your well-being right now. A way of offering gratitude. And remind yourself of what your intention is for this practice. Remember to whom you dedicated this practice. And let's close chanting Om 3 times. Sense the resonance that you are releasing out into the world through your breath out, as well as that you're receiving. So let's breathe in to prepare. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.